apologize for that break there, but let's go on with our stories now. She has been branded a cursed woman. Her husband abandoned her. Until now, she remains stigmatized by her family after 3 of her 5 children developed varying forms of disabilities. That is the plight of 58-year-old Gladys Akong, a petty trader in Osu. In spite of all the hostilities around her, Gladys is boldly fighting to keep her children alive for the simple reason they are gifts from God. JoyNews' Beryl Ernestina Richter has more in this report.
Meet Gladys, mother of 5 children. 3 of Gladys's children all have speech and hearing impairments. Her 4th child, Richard Lamptey, is 30 years. Richard's condition is the most serious. He suffers from epilepsy and cerebral palsy. When Richard was only 2 years old, he had convulsion which seriously affected his growth.
After 2 years, we more bad on.
After 2 years, he started having difficulties with his speech. When he had the convulsion, we all thought he had died. We even prepared a coffin for him, but he later gained consciousness.
Later than they hear.
Gladys considered herself fortunate because her husband was supportive initially, but that support ceased after a few years.
Their father has stopped catering for them. He now has children with other women. He barely checks up on them. And the last time he was here was 2 months ago, and he only gave us 100 cedis. We haven't heard from him since then.
Lawrence is Gladys's 5th child. He is 28 years old. When Lawrence was only 2 years, he started showing symptoms of epilepsy. He would shake, fall, and drool on his mouth. Doctors later confirmed to Gladys that her son had epilepsy. Gladys left the hospital devastated, having another child with epilepsy.
He was fine in his early days. I was therefore surprised when this happened. A pastor once told me that the medical conditions of my children are spiritual attacks. Lawrence was once a brilliant student, but had to stop school because of his condition. It affected his writing skills. I always question God why 3 of my children are suffering.
Consultant neurologist and head of Department of Medicine and Therapeutics at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Patrick Ejay explains cases of this nature could be linked to genetic abnormalities.
It's a family of 5 where the last 3 are affected. Causes of such thing, if you ask me, it would be genetic. It could be a pure single gene inheritance, or it could have occurred after the children were born, where they call de novo mutations after birth. But what we've got to realize, most genetic anomalies really have occurred after birth. They might not necessarily be that the parents might have it. They might have occurred after birth, where the growing child has de novo mutations that lead to the abnormal presentations that these patients.
People with conditions like that of Richard and Lawrence need frequent medical assessment and attention. But unfortunately, due to the lack of finance, Gladys is unable to access healthcare services for the 2.
Some years ago, I was asked to pay 200 cedis for Lawrence to undergo a scan, but he was unable to do so because I could not afford the money.
doctors to make Joe Abluchi back.
Later, an NGO paid for the scan, but he had to continue with other therapies and treatments, which he could not do because I could not afford that too.
Another time.
Dr. Patrick Ejay also emphasizes the need for thorough medical examination and assessment of people with such cases.
Seizures that are not treated well also can lead to significant brain damage, and that can lead to developmental abnormalities. Very difficult to treat, but if these patients find themselves in hospitals, we can control really the seizures. Once you control the seizures, you can help reduce the brain dysfunction that occurs. I think, in effect, if the mother had continued her visits to the hospital and the doctors had continually prescribed her medication, I think it could have helped most of these children, really, rather than to have left them to have seizures unattended to.
As is typical in many societies, Gladys and her children have been stigmatized in a lot of ways. People find it strange that 3 of her children suffer one form of disability or another.
I am always ridiculed. I am now used to the insults. They are my children. I can't kill them. My only prayer is that they should die before I do, because if I die first, I don't think anybody else will take care of them like I do. Even my own relatives have neglected me.
The burden of a mother, the weight of motherhood, the need for love, and the outlook of better times ahead. That's the story of Gladys Akron. For JoyNews, Beryl Ernestina Richter.